Welcome back to Civics 101. Today we're digging into the Third Amendment. On the surface, it sounds outdated. It says the government cannot force you to house soldiers in your own home without your consent. Most people hear that and think, well, that's not something I'll ever deal with. But this amendment came directly from something that helped define the American Revolution, and it still shapes our rights today. Before the United States existed, the British passed the Quartering Acts. These laws allowed British soldiers to move into private homes, barns, and businesses, even when families did not want them there. It was more than inconvenient. It blurred the line between civilian life and military authority. People felt watched, pressured, and controlled inside of their own homes. That level of military presence created fear and resentment, and it became one of the reasons the colonists revolted. So when the framers wrote the Bill of Rights, this was not a leftover idea. It was a direct response to lived abuse. They wanted to draw a clear boundary between civilians and the military. They wanted to make sure that the government could never use military power to intimidate the public or invade private life in the way the British had. The Third Amendment was designed to protect the home as a private space that the government cannot enter without justification. Even though the Third Amendment does not appear in many modern cases, it is still active in constitutional law. Courts have used it to reinforce the idea that your home has the highest level of protection. In the 1980s, there was a federal case where a family argued that forcing National Guard troops to stay in their home could violate the Third Amendment. And while the case did not rewrite national law, the courts took the claim seriously. It showed that this amendment is not just symbolic. The Supreme Court has also referenced the Third Amendment when talking about the broader right to privacy. Even though it is short, it contributes to the constitutional idea that the government cannot cross into your private space without meeting a very high bar. It supports the logic behind limits on searches, surveillance, and government intrusion. And that matters today. We might not be talking about quartering soldiers, but we are talking about militarized policing, government surveillance, expanded federal authority, and technology that allows the government to monitor people in ways that the framers could never have imagined. The Third Amendment is part of the foundation that pushes back on that. It's a reminder that the home is not just a structure, it's a line that the government is not supposed to cross casually. The deeper lesson is that every amendment has a story like this behind it. None of them were theoretical. They were reactions to real abuses that people had already lived through. The Third Amendment might seem quiet, but it still sets expectations for how much power the government should or should not have in your private life. Next up, we're going into the Fourth Amendment, which expands the idea of privacy even further. And it shapes a lot of the protections you rely on every single day without realizing it.